What you do for yourself depends on what you think of yourself. What you think of yourself depends on what you know of yourself. And what you know of yourself depends on what you've been told. This is 360 Info Network Radio with your hosts, Antonio and Vince Robinson.
We got sunshine today. I think it's going to be pretty decent today, so we can go out there and absorb some of that nature and some of that sun. So, hey, and then we might inspire you to go out in the backyard and do something with that garden or those plants out there, because we got a great guest and his wife. Is a dynamic duo, husband and wife team that's a part of a bigger entity that we're going to talk about. But in the remote studio, we got Brother Vince going down. What's up, Brother Vince?
Bruh, it's a balmy 66 degrees out there, man. I might have to do something revolutionary and go outside. I would like to put some plants in my backyard. I'm not there yet, but I need to take some lessons from the folks that we're having on today. But I got a groundhog back there, and I suspect that if I plant anything, he's just going to have a field day. So we got to come up with a strategy.
Feed the animals. Feed the animals. Feed the. Hey, that's what the creator put him there. They say, hey, they ain't got a job or something, so they depend on us.
Well, the natural food products don't have labels on them, nor do they have price tags. So, when the groundhog sees it, he says, ooh, dinner, and he helps himself. And can you blame him? Speaking of helping yourself, we like to invite folks who are listening who have businesses to reach out to our brother Stephen E. Boyd. He's been out in the streets for the past week, and looks like we're going to be welcoming some new sponsors, but we don't want you to miss your opportunity. So if you're interested in becoming a sponsor of 360 Info Network, please reach out to Brother Stephen E. Boyd. You can reach him at 216-526-1297. That's 216-526-1297. Like to welcome our guests to the show. As you heard, we have two very dynamic people on the line with us who are well-versed in raising food products. We have Mark White and Carol Wilson White of the Riddall Green Partnership. Carol is also co-owner of the Urban Farm Doctors Catering Company. So welcome to 360 Info Network, my brother and sister.
Oh, thank you so much, Brother Vince.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, thank you for having us. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I just want to applaud you guys, for doing what you're doing. I mean, the vision and fulfilling a void in our community, right in the heart of our community, our urban community, and turning that whole area around into something that a person can go and learn some things and back to the basics. That's what because we never know what's gonna, where we going right here globally, where we might have to fend for ourselves. They might, for those who didn't take the vaccine, probably they may not let you go to the store and buy nothing, so you might have to grow your own food. Who knows these days? But I still, again, I want to publicly and on the air say I commend you brothers, stuck with it and had a vision, man. And this is, to our listening audience, when you have a vision and stick to it, this is you guys are the results of that, So I just appreciate what you guys are doing down there.
Thank you so much, brother. Thank you so much. And we we love you, Antonio. We here at Riddall Green Partnership are, those that kind of share a vision of, similar to yourself, to inform our people, to help and to try to inspire us to lift ourselves up and be the help that we're looking for. So often for so many years, we were so happy that we were seemingly included into the systems where we could have this health care, this care, that care, but you look up and now you see they really didn't care. And so we're at a point now where we have to look out for ourselves, and we're in love with the fact that our people are resonating around consciousness and, self-improvement.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. We lost one of our good brothers, that brother, I don't know, he kind of cling to each other, man, and he will always reach out to me to try to include me into some of his ideas and his visions, man. And I was like, yeah, my brother, this, so we really miss that brother. And I know he's looking down in his transition and saying, y'all brothers doing well and keep on keeping on,
You already know. It's
So,
all love.
Brother Marc, let's talk about the Rid-All Green Partnership. What was the genesis of it, and what are you guys doing in that amazing space in the heart of Cleveland's East Side?
Right. Well, thank you, Vince. Well, the Rid-All Green Partnership was an idea of three, neighborhood school-age buddies by the name of Damian Forche, Kemar Durden, and Randall McShepherd. And as friends of mine and fraternity brothers, we all kind of resonated around many of these types of green endeavors. Many years ago, we found ourselves on the campus of Kent State University. At least Kemar and myself, Dame would come up on the weekends. That's how I met Dame at 16 years old. And Randy went to BW, but we all kind of resonated around Alpha fraternity. And so we as we pledged and joined that, we kind of stayed brothers all the way through, and a lot of things that we did, were diverse, but at the same time, once we came together after maybe 30 years or so, there was an urgency to do something that meant something in our community. And so these brothers pioneered that. I was actually living in Israel at that time. I was part of some of the initial talks and discussions. But what was happening was that it was a great revelation that something needed to be done in the central neighborhood, because staggering statistics had come out to say that the central neighborhood had a 29-year disparity of life expectancy between the people who lived there and those that were in the surrounding communities. And so that was a profound problem for us, that you were cheated out of 29 years of life just because of where you lived. That was terrible. So for us, we found it as a source of motivation and inspiration, to go ahead and provide something for the people. And in fact, we're actually down on site now at Rid-All, opening up for a color guard piece with our veterans program. So I'm going to pause and let my queen take it over, because I'm going to need to be silent where I am, and then I'm going to come back in about 5 to 7 minutes, and I'm going to allow Carol to take the baton right quick.
Okay, thanks for that. Mm-hmm. And Carol, if you could just let us know about some of the other programs that are going on right now. We got about 1 minute, 30 seconds before we take a break.
Okay. Thank you for the opportunity. Rid-All Urban Farm has done such an amazing job doing what we need in the community, which is partnering and executing and bridging the gap between the social determinants of health. And so, for those that may not know, there's health conditions that are affected by where we live. So those conditions are where we're born, where we live, where we work, where we age. And overall, it has an impact on the conditions of our neighborhood and our ability to be safe in the neighborhood. Access stable housing. Do we have proper social connections in the neighborhood? Rid-All is bridging that gap. We're bringing schools down and they're having tours. They're able to have tours, and children are able to see that agriculture just isn't someone going to farm and something so far-fetched that it's close to home. This is a source of food and sustainability. The grocery store isn't the end all. It's not the beginning or the end, right? And so even down to, us helping everyone learn about the food that we eat in a nutritious way. So education has to come along with it. Just because you have access to food stamps or anything like that for those low-income families, well, what do you do with the food? What type of food are you going to purchase? And so Rid-All has a veteran hoop house here where veterans are able to come and impact from the hormones that come from touching the soil. So that helps with PTSD and all other type of conditions.
Okay.
So the programming here is just amazing.
Okay. We're going to talk a bit more about some of those programs, and we're also going to talk about what sustainability actually means and the importance of having that connection with the earth when we return. You're listening to 360 Info Network on AM 1490 WERE with your hosts, Hamtonio, and yours truly, Vince Robinson. Our guests are Marc White and Carol Wilson White of Rid-All Green Partnership. We'll be right back after these messages. We're back. 360 Info Network right here on AM 1490 WERE. We're chatting with our guest, Carol Wilson White of Ridall Green Partnership, and she is also co-owner of the Urban Farm Doctors Catering Company. Before we went to break, we were talking about some of the programs that you have going on at Ridall, and while we were on the break, you revealed a few more. So let us know what else is going on at Ridall Green Partnership.
Okay. So one of our wonderful programs is a 5-month program where individuals are able to register for a urban agriculture course where they're able to learn regenerative growing practices. And I say regenerative, meaning we're growing on soil that may be toxic. So you have to learn how to do raised beds, use raised beds, how to test your water, things like that. It is a course that you aren't able to get just through your regular university or any other agriculture program. We're promoting sustainability, and you can get this through a 5-month course. Okay, and you can sign up on Ridall's website.
I think you guys, don't you teach them aquaponics and stuff like that in there as well?
Absolutely. So once you go through the 5-month course, you'll learn everything from composting to growing. And then what people do is decide what lane or what area do they want to take on. Maybe they already have farmland and they need to know what to do with it. Maybe they've never grown a thing. Maybe they are, we would get people from all walks and different mindsets. And it's helping them to become entrepreneurs, to learn how to make money from it, as well as grow food so that they can have on their own and understand why there's a need to grow your own food.
Okay. I'm just looking at the website right now, and my glasses are on, and I see it clearly. It says greenghetto.org, but it's GREENNGHETTO.org. So greenghetto.org is where you can go to get more information about this program. Who's taking advantage of your the program that involves learning agriculture the way you just expressed?
So we have, in fact, it's very international. We've had students from Germany. We've had local community members right here in Cleveland. We've had students from Houston. They are coming from near and far, being a part of Ridall's training course because we don't have any limit to who's involved, but it's definitely open to the Cleveland residents at hand, and they do partake in the classes. It fills up every session.
Wow. Well, as far as internationally is concerned, too, we can speak on that again because Brother Kima is expanding his tentacles any way he can get them in Belize, Israel, Ghana, and I'm sure some more to come. But, and that's the beauty of it as well. And you would think this one place down on 80th and Kinsman, that nobody, is really paying attention to. But like she just said, she's getting hits from people that are coming to tour and learn and to take back home, what these guys is doing all over the world, right there on 80th and Kinsman. So that's an amazing
Forgotten Triangle. Yes, in the Forgotten Triangle.
Well, it's amazing that you would raise that point, Antonio, because I guess maybe we are evenly yoked, so to speak, because I was just thinking about the international aspect of Ridall. There have been documentaries that have been done on this location in the best city in the nation. The world knows about Ridall, and there are people in Cleveland who don't know about Ridall. And when you talk about this program, this agricultural program, and who's taking advantage of it, we have communities in this city that are actually what they call food deserts. And when you look at the past year, what we've gone through and all the food distribution that has taken place and, just the overwhelming demand for food, it is identifying a critical issue, and that is access to food. And now that we're having these issues with transportation and inflation, it's going to be, more and more important that folks get connected with ways that they have access to food, because the supermarket shelves are not always going to be full and brimming because of the demand for food, the rising prices and all of that. So what you're doing at Ridall is extremely impactful. And this should serve as an impetus to folks who don't know about it to find out more about it so that they can utilize the space that they have in their residences to begin to be productive, because, some food is just going to be priced out of reach for us as things continue to escalate.
One quick add-on to that. Just let's think about it, too, for number one, and that's what I want to talk to them about, of getting some good food that is organically grown there, from what do y'all call it, the black gold? What's the soil called again? Is it
Yes, black gold soil.
Black gold, yeah. Okay, we got Marc back. Okay, yeah, the black gold over there. That these guys worked at, and put the nutrients back in the food. And then the second piece to that I think is so incredible and amazing is that, and with Damien and Marc, them had the vision. Hey, let's put a place up to prepare, the organically grown food where our community can eat some good, healthy food. And that piece just blows me. I mean, that's what we need. That's what we need. And we should be down there, and taking advantage of all of that,
Thanks,
but
man.
also,
Thanks, man.
But one other piece, too, is that I was waiting till you got back, Marc, to mention something that I think I mentioned. I don't know if Damien talked to you guys about it, but I know I mentioned it to you. I think I did, and Damien, about the police, bringing the police involved, because you guys did the gun buybacks and things like that. So that shows how you reaching out to the community as well and trying to get them. You had the nice festival down there to get people, adequated to, acquainted to what you guys are doing down there. But I had brought up a suggestion to you guys about bringing the police down there to actually do some work. And let me explain that. We'll take a minute to explain that real quick, Vince. Is that sometimes when the police officers get in trouble a little bit, it depends on the level. They get on restricted duty. See, I know you guys got the veterans down there. They get on some restricted duty and they just sit in the office and can be there for months just withering away. I mean, and then they start developing some type of emotional detachment and, it turns into anger. Why they got me? I ain't bring my case up so long. It's just this, it's just that. They got me this. I can't work part-time. So we was talking about suggesting that I was going to talk to the chief about connecting the police to you guys, like you guys got the veterans down there, having the police come down there and having their hands in the soil, back to earth, and it's kind of with iron them out emotionally, you know what I'm saying, while they going through this little tough time, you know what I mean? And, and then, they may come out a better person, you know what I'm saying, and learn something in the interim, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's one of the things we may try to revisit and see if we get any interest from the police department. But I think it could be a good marriage.
Oh, I love that, Lynn. And especially for a few reasons. Because what that implies to me, I just thought about the hood. The neighborhood, is a place for us all we're supposed to feel comfortable and supposed to feel at peace and supposed to feel the love and comfort of home. But see, oftentimes now it's not really like that. But the suffix hood means protective covering. So anytime you talk about neighborhood, brotherhood, sisterhood, any type of hood is a level of protection there. And so if you marry the police with the neighborhood the right way, it'll be a wonderful situation, man. And see, having an urban farm, they've even done studies now where it's at the point where in major cities, they're chronicling the statistics that the crime rates are reducing in every area where there's an urban farm. He says crime reduction up to 20% just because there's a farm there. See what I'm saying? So the marriage of that together would really, really help with crime reduction and with protection and with security. So I'm all the way 100% in agreement, and not to mention the regenerative effect it would have on the police themselves. See, because they can be whole people. See,
right.
From the holistic perspective, a whole person is going to be least likely to jump off and feel intimidated or feel less confident in a situation, that we encounter. They're going to feel more at one with themselves, and they're going to love themselves. So the whole concept of love your neighbor as yourself begins to be realized in the neighborhood. You see what I'm saying? So it's a beautiful thing if it can happen. I'm all with it, man, because that's the eternal idea. That's the spiritual, you understand, desire, is that we resonate and unify.
Yeah. Well, you're really talking about a profound connection with the earth. Mark and I have had previous conversations. I interviewed him for a television show that I do, and I remember you talking about the impact that the operation had on youth in the community who were headed in the wrong direction, and then somehow you were able to connect with them, and it turned their lives around. So when you talk about this regenerative aspect, what you are doing through the earth is giving life to people who don't otherwise have it. And then one of the most important factors is you're giving them complete and whole nutrition from the things that you're growing. So there's a very important relationship between the earth and the people. I wanted to get back to this issue of soil because I think Carol was talking about, having raised beds and dealing with the earth that way. Can you talk about the importance of this black gold soil that you are promoting and utilizing in your operation?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because people usually say, well, man, with all the soil or seemingly dirt that we have around the world, just piles of it just standing up all around, covering every surface. It seems like, why would we need more soil? Just growing that. But see, what's happened is that America has been in terrible danger as far as our erosion problems. Our topsoil has eroded and has been literally destroyed since the 1930s. Okay, a group of doctors came to our U.S. government. In fact, you can research it yourself in a document called U.S. Senate document number 264, right? It's public information now. But this group of doctors came and they told our congressmen and senators that America was in a crisis. This is 1936, y'all. America's in a crisis. We no longer have enough healthy topsoil to assure health and wellness for our citizens.
Wow.
We're going to begin to see what we're going to begin to see, y'all, is all kinds of new diseases that Americans have never experienced. They said this in 1936, right? But he said also that we can change it. We can change it. Allow the farmers to change the trajectory and begin organic types of farming methods, right? And then we won't have these same problems because what was happening was because we overuse the soil like everything else America does. We overuse everything, and if we don't put back, then you strip it. So now it's about understanding that, knowing that health can no longer really come from the soil, and except that we recultivate soil and recultivate our crops and our plants. That's why locally grown plants or locally grown foods are so much better for us because they have more nutrition. So the end of that story about that soil is that what the government decided to do was to go with chemical herbicides, pesticides, and fertilizers, right? Because of the overabundance of petroleum byproducts, right? They decided to make fertilizers and pesticides out of them and began to spray them throughout the fields throughout America because it had a high nitrogen content, right? And the nitrogen seemed to boost the plant life. So artificially on the surface, it seemed as if it was really stimulating the growth, like miracle growth, right? Make a pretty looking plant. But inside, what was happening was that the plants were empty because the chemicals were destroying the good, healthy bacteria in the soil. The beneficial bacteria in the soil is the only thing that can make available nutrition to us. So it's like we need iron, right? But we can't eat iron. Plants can't eat iron. But see, the bacteria in the soil eats iron. And when it digests the iron, it makes it available to us. So that process being removed now because of the chemicals is causing us to now have food that's less than adequate to consume. This food is empty. We're a common carrot, right? It's supposed to provide 16% of vitamins and minerals, vitamin A and what have you. Now today, it may have less than 3. But if you look at it side by side with a good, healthy, organically grown carrot, they look almost identically the same. So it's not about the look; it's about the content. It's just like America. America is good on the surface, but you pull her skin back, she's stinking, putrefying, ugly, rotten to the core. You follow what I'm saying? So it's the same script with our food. Every system we have in America is now tainted with the same type of toxicity, right? You can't trust it. I'm telling you, we have to go back in order to move forward now. See, so our soil has been tainted. Therefore, our food is tainted. And so when the soil is sick, then the plants are sick, then the man is sick, and then the family is sick, and you all know what it is from there. So this is how they did.
Hold on, Mark. Hold on, Mark. Hey, Mark, you just took me to another place, brother, and I appreciate that information there because it explains where we at right now in this state, in this country, because a group of politicians refused to answer to what the doctors were saying, and they wanted to take us in another, because I'm going on the angle of, you are what you eat. What you feed the body is what you feed the brain. You talked about they predicted of diseases and new things coming. So, because I always, when these educational classes that I take occasionally, when they always talk about how the kids is acting and responding, and, I always, be the oddball and say, well, what about, you ever thought about what the kids are eating that's causing them to be this or be that or this, well, they always be, that could be something, but they never tend to see it, the relationship. So now what you saying, way back in the 30s, they predict what was going on, so they neglected to do anything about it. So therefore, this is the state we're in of craziness, malnutrition, because if you malnutrition, it's going to affect how you think, your cognitive thinking, and all the rest of the thing. So this is why, one of the reasons, what other toxic, visualization that they putting out here in garbage. But this is one of the reasons why they might not be able to decipher what is on TV is not real and what is real.
Yeah,
this is crazy, man.
It's hard to discern now, brother. Because it's like the news is like Hollywood, and like Hollywood is the real life. It's crazy, man.
Yeah. So you talked about the difference between organically grown and conventionally grown, and you also touted the benefits of locally grown produce. I just want to make sure that the listeners get an idea that, perhaps it might be in their best interest to explore alternatives to what they already get. If you put those two carrots side by side, one of them has 3% nutritive properties and the other one has 16% nutritive properties, it would seem to reason that organic carrot might be a better choice. And even though it might cost a little more, it would be worth it.
Right. And at the same time, if the people demand more of the right thing, then our government would have to hear us. But we don't demand it because we destroy it for lack of knowledge. We don't know. And so oftentimes when you're able to see these things, then you can make a comparative analysis and say that, okay, we need this versus that. Because imagine this, for instance, like a cow. A cow is a huge animal, and there's so much meat on a cow, right? It's thousands of dollars invested in a cow. Without government subsidization, right, we would pay $80 for a steak as opposed to, $7.99 or $12.99 in the store. You follow what I'm saying? Because the government subsidizes the farmers, to produce these animals for consumption, and they make the prices affordable. This is exactly why you can see an organic piece of fruit. It's $2.35 a piece versus a hamburger on sale at McDonald's for 25 cents a piece. Now you tell me, how do a hamburger be 25 cents and an apple be $2.50 or $2.39 in the same city on the same day? Now, I've seen this with my own eyes. So I'm just saying, we have to make our government aware that we don't like these things, and we have to demand change.
Yes.
But, we're destroyed for lack of knowledge. We don't know. So now we're knowing, we going to do.
Right.
But it's up to us, again, to educate us, because I don't think the government still get it, because they letting the Monsantos, run away with this particular situation. So that's further taking us backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You already know.
There is what Monsanto has done here in America and around the world, but there's also a growing awareness of the benefits of pushing back from that $80 steak or the $30 subsidized steak. So I want to talk to you about this growing awareness and the impact that it's having on our community. As we speak, we've got, a number of vegan restaurants, some of them Black owned. There's a restaurant on Shaker Square that is a vegan restaurant. And then you go over to Larchmere, you got a couple of places over there. The space that used to be occupied by Poisonberry is now vegan. I think Unbar, they offer some vegan ideas or some vegan type food. So there's a growing awareness of this. And then, on the other side of things, they're looking at growing meat in labs now. So, this whole idea of sustainability is causing a paradigm shift in the food supply and ways that people are manufacturing and creating food products. Could you talk about this paradigm shift and what you see in terms of the future of food in the city of Cleveland?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. And thank you for that segue, Vince. See, because, this is the whole danger of genetic modification and the arrogance of mankind. On one level, we have to just stop and make a reevaluation as to what we're consuming, what we're ingesting in our mouth. Again, veganism is nothing new. In fact, many say that it's the original diet. Even just out of the Bible, that the fruit of the trees and the herbs of the field were called meat or food for the people. But that we grew, and as we fall or fell, as mankind fell, also did our standards. And so what began to happen is that we began to take on all kind of things and call it food. And so it used to be for celebration that we would kill an animal and roast it and have it, right? And that we would dine and we would eat and dine deliciously for a few days on that. But then it became, we didn't just have a meat for the feast, but we have meat for now, maybe every Sunday now. And then so every Sunday, that's good. So every Sunday, everybody celebrates and what have you. And then from there, it's like, well, you know what? We need to have this every day. So now we have meat 3 times a day, every single day, every week of every month of every year. And we cannot wonder now why our health is deteriorating, because our bodies were not meant to ingest that level of flesh. See, it went from a small celebration food to like a daily thing. And so a protein resides in many, 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 many plants. And so the protein thing is not really the issue, but it's the consciousness. And so getting to the point, Vince, when you talk about the consciousness, so now we're at a point where we have to be part of what we call a regenerative consciousness, not just a sustainable green consciousness, because sustainable actually infers that things are okay. Let's maintain them where they are. Let's sustain them. But no, they're not okay. They're broken. Let's regenerate them and correct them. Then let's just sustain that. Let's sustain the corrected one. And so we have to go through the process of fixing ourselves, fixing our system, fixing our minds. Our minds is what's the problem. As a man thinketh, so is he. You think sick, you're going to be sick. It's just how it is, man. It's where we at right now out here in this world. All kind of strange manners of thinking, strange manners of talking, strange manner of everything. And we have to kind of get back to where we can resonate around some similar standard of what we agree upon is good food or it's good times or it's entertainment or it's
Marc, Marc, I think that's why, and we're finna be to the break in a minute though, but we can hear from her too. So that's why we need some urban farm doctors to help us. Is that a good segue?
Man, you gotta have a queen like Carol.
I love
queen
it.
like Carol. You know what I'm saying?
We need help. Send the doctors, y'all.
Yeah, send the doctors. Oh yeah. So Carol will make you feel like all you're eating is just good. You wouldn't say all of a sudden there ain't no meat in here. You won't never miss the meat. You'll never miss it. You think it's there. And only upon more investigation will you discover there was no meat at all. Wasn't no dairy at all. Wasn't nothing. I ain't got no gas. Nothing. I'm good. I'm happy.
Okay.
And I have less the sodium, less the fat, less the other content.
So, Carol, tell us about Urban Farm Doctors. What is that about, and how do we learn more?
All right. Yes, Urban Farm Doctors has grown from Riddall's wonderful fruits, right? we have Mark and I. It's a husband and wife team, okay? And we noticed that even though we had been vegans for over 26 years, a lot of negative stigma was associated with eating a plant-based diet or eating healthy. It was like you had to eat nasty food. And we're a testament that that's not true. You can eat healthy and eat good and enjoy it. And so we came up with a line of elixirs. So we started out with juicing and trying to get a lot of the superfoods in our body. So, moringa doesn't taste as awesome as many of us would like. But then, Mark, here we go with a moringa lemonade. And we can't keep it on the shelves at our farmer's market now. So we came up with products that would help, especially in the urban community, with inflammation and low energy levels and all those things from being depleted of minerals and vitamins. So we're able to take everything, all the superfoods, all the fruits and vegetables, and show you what can be done with them. And this is what was born out of, growing good food.
Okay, well, I can testify because I've actually tasted some of those elixirs, and I'm thinking, wow, this is so good. How can I do it myself? But the easy way to do it would just be to go to Farmer Jones and pick them up off the shelves. So you have that option, and we'll give you more information about how you can take advantage of that and the products that they're selling through that operation. You're listening to 360 Info Network here on AM 1490 WERE with your hosts, Hamtonio, and yours truly, Vince Robinson. Our guests are Mark White and Carol Wilson White of Ridall Green Partnership, and also Urban Farm Doctors Catering Company. We'll be back with more 360 Info Network after this. We're back, 360 Info Network, right here on AM 1490 WERE with Hamtonio, Vince Robinson, and our guests, Mark White and Carol Wilson White of Ridall Green Partnership and Urban Farm Doctors Catering Company. Before we went to break, we were talking about Urban Farm Doctors, and of course, we've been involved in an extensive conversation about Ridall Green Partnership. Carol or Mark, could you tell us about the operation on Broadway, this magnificent place that serves people these elixirs and other things that you are creating from the earth?
Go ahead, Carol.
Carol, say that?
Carol, you there? Okay, well, I'll go. She's probably, we have our kids down here also, so she might get occupied on the break.
Yes.
So the thing is that the Farmer Jones Market was a recent acquisition. What happened is that the mayor of Maple Heights gave us a call that during the pandemic, a major artery in their city had shut down, that the Farmer Jones Market that had been in existence for 75 years had to shut down. Dude sold it. It was going to leave town and was starting something new. And so it kind of laid dormant for about 3 or 4 months. At that time, she called us and said, "You all want to go ahead? Y'all got $300,000 to put on this." He was like, "Well, no, I ain't got $300,000, not right now to put on it." And so then she said, "Okay, well, we trying to do this." I said, "Okay." And so they called my guy back about 2 weeks later and said, "Look, don't worry about the money. Can y'all just come?" And it started like that.
What?
And so yeah. I mean, it was like, we'll figure it out. And it ain't like we're not paying now. We're in negotiations. Right. We're moving forward with it. But the thing is that it was such an urgency that they really needed. It was a food that's instantly, right? And so the Farmer Jones Market is at 16701 Broadway Avenue, and that's between Lee Road and Rockside. Right, and so that area is very, very ripe, for a consciousness movement in terms of food. People really recognize, the need for, good, healthy fruits and vegetables. It's very, very important. It's a huge staple. See, because many of our neighborhoods do have stores, but it's the stores that serve their own types of stuff. I mean, now we're able to buy food in the gas station, but who really going to get that for nutrition? It's not, those things are just really hubs in order to kind of maybe energize yourself with something in transition, not to pick a meal out of. And so what's happening is that now many of our people are looking at these places now for substance or sustenance, and there's none to be found. And therefore, we're at a point now where when we continue to ingest these things, we have all of the various diseases. You know, Vince, you were saying something earlier. Go ahead.
I was going to say, yeah, and that's the problem though with the mainstream piece, you know, because we're not able to educate our people to make the connections and saying that, hey, good food gives you healthy brain or healthy, you know, if you had campaigns going on like that, we'll be making better choices, but it's all about dollars, man.
Yeah, you know, we have to inform the people, and I think that's a great angle, you know, Lynn, you know, because you talked earlier about the kids and this violence. See, the violence is in the diet. See, we need a nonviolent diet, you know, because, again, these are the things that these toxins are impeding, you know, our children's behavior, their growth, their development, you know, and we act like it's okay. The hot fries is like a food group or something, you know. That jive ain't cool. We got to, you know, monitor what they eat, or at least give them some concentrated nutrition. If they have a little junk, that's okay. They're kids, but at least give them some concentrated nutrition in something, you know, like we advocate the moringa, different smoothies, things like that, where you can dose your kid up with some really good, you know, nutrition, and they won't even know. It just tastes good to them. They won't even realize that it's superfoods. You know, these things are, you know, bringing them another level of energy, another level of maintenance and wellness. You know, it's real important.
Yeah. So, but when you talk about those things, I mean, you can't afford to sell your elixir, you know, those fantastic drinks that you sell. You can't afford to sell them for what they would pay for a can of pop, you know.
Right.
That's one thing. You got the price issue, and then the other part of it is just the education issue. I mean, someone will pick up Sunny D and read the label, and it will say it has vitamin C in it, and they think it's good, but then they don't consider the fact that it has high fructose corn syrup in it that is detrimental and just completely neutralizes the benefit of the vitamin C. You know, recently there was a store that opened up in a community that I live in, and I'm not going to mention any names, but, you know, it was an opportunity to bring fresh fruit and vegetables and good food into the community, and that stuff went unsold, and so they don't sell it anymore. But then you have all the other garbage that does sell, you know, so we can't even have, you know, a good operation if people don't purchase the product. So what can we do? How do we educate the masses to make better decisions when it comes to what they eat?
You know, you said a mouthful in that, Vince, you know, but it goes back to self-care, self-love, man. You know, love your neighbor as yourself. You know what I'm saying? If we loving ourselves right, then we're going to love each other right. But see, here's the thing is that some kind of way we have a suicidal relationship when it comes to our food. It's like, you know, I only live once. I'm going to have this. I'm going to have that. And you know, it's like we're dosing ourselves, you know, into extinction. Into extinction, literally, man. You know, but if we valued our health, you know, and I say it all the time as a fashion designer, you know, this is how I even segued into this, because people were, you know, I mean, I'm talking about movie stars and personalities that really did not like their appearance, didn't look like themselves at all, and they wanted you to work magic and miracles and transform them, but really the transformation needs to be from the inside out, not the outside in. I mean, I can always make you a beautiful thing on the outside, make you look nice, but how do you feel inside? You know, you still feel like crap. You know, so the thing is that when you feel good inside, you'll radiate good. You'll radiate beauty. You'll radiate wholeness and wellness. And that's the prescription we need. You know, nothing can make up for that. You know, they selling makeup, but that don't make up for wellness. You know, be the best version of yourself. Be the best version of yourself. The most healthiest version. Yeah, go ahead, babe.
I got to throw this jab in real quick. What you do for yourself is what you think of yourself. Okay, that's what we say every show. That's what it is. Okay, go ahead.
Exactly. Well, this is a great segue to some of the programming that Ridall recognizes help in the community. So first of all, any events that we have down here, we do plant-based catering. You're not going to bring too much junk down here. We want to keep the concept continuous, right? And so I want to announce that there's a Key to Healthy Lifestyle 6-week program starting June 5th. It is free. Ridall is excited to partner with KeyBank with this new program. It'll help transform eating habits into a cycle of nutritious and delicious food choices. This can last a lifetime. We have instructors like Urban Farm Doctors and Chef Cassandra Lynn, who will take you hand by hand as you learn to eat for the heart health, longevity, energy, and vitality. So once you get through this 6-week program, it includes increasing fresh fruit and vegetable intake while providing resources like recipes, shopping tips, meal planning strategies. This is just the beginning. Cleveland has a terrible infant mortality rate. Food insecurity is wreaking havoc on our communities, and we can't wait for anybody to make that change for us. We have to be the change that we want to see, and it starts right here in our community. And then now we're going to look for partners that want to support this initiative, and that's where we are now. We want to continue to expand our projects. So our next level is to feed the pregnant moms, anybody who is postpartum. Why we can't start with the seed?
It's just Sister Carol. I don't want this to get away from. Please repeat that time and that information again, so they can get it when that program starts. Please.
Yes, Key to Healthy Lifestyle, and you're going to find the information on Ritall's website. It is not posted today, but it will be up soon because it starts June 5th, and it'll be every Saturday consecutively for that 6 weeks. And it will be held here at 8129 Otter Avenue, right here at our restaurant. You will have an on-site course that the community can partake in for free, but you do have to register, and that link will be up on the website soon.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the website is www.greenandghetto.org. greenandghetto.org. You just Google Ritall and it'll all pop up.
Okay. So
Right.
once again, it's www.greenandghetto.org. You can go there to get more information about the other things that are going on, and shortly they will have information about the Keys to Healthy Living workshops that will start on June 5th there at 8129 Otter Avenue, the address of Ritall Green Partnership. Mark and Carol, it has been a pleasure to have you on the air today.
Oh, likewise.
I want you to know that I have plans to do other programs with you between now and June 5th because it's vitally important that we get the word out about this program. And it's also a beautiful thing that it is actually a free program. So, folks like free. So,
hey.
Jump on it. Thank Key Bank for making a donation that makes the program possible. Once again, thanks for joining us on 360 Info Network.
Hey, thank you. I love y'all, brothers. Keep it up.
All right, now.
Thank you. Have a blessed day.
All right, Sister Carol. Okay.
All right. And also just wanted to reiterate that you can become a sponsor of 360 Info Network. We actually hope that at some point Ritall Green Partnership might look to, getting the word out through advertising on this platform. There is a great value and benefit to being able to reach audiences of a certain persuasion in the world of radio. So if you are interested in becoming a sponsor of 360 Info, reach out to Stephen E. Boyd, 216-526-1297. That's 216-526-1297. Also, don't forget, check in on our Facebook page. We post from time to time very interesting, culturally and historically relevant information on that Facebook page. So you can learn more about the things that we're doing there. We have a website, 360InfoNetworkRadio.net. You can go there and learn more about 360 Info. We'd like to thank you for tuning in today on behalf of my co-host and the birther of 360 Info Network. Thanks for joining us. And thank you to our engineer, Tristan. He's doing what he can, and he does the best that he can to make it sound as good as we possibly can. Know yourself, love yourself, be yourself, and make today your best day. Peace.
Peace.